Good morning, traders. Welcome back to it. I'm excited to get right back into the trading seat. And I hope that you guys are excited because it's a special day today. We got a limited time offer today that you guys cannot miss out. I'll tell you what, stick around, guys. I'm going to tell you guys it after the playbook because we'll get into the stock market first. But there's a limited edition right now package that I just even had to grab because I was like, you know what? I have another eval, but this one's just worth it to me. The way that it's set up, it's really set up for success out there for you guys. So smash the like. Let's get to the action. Let's get to today's playbook, and then we'll talk all about it. Keep more profits to yourself, guys. Check out that limited edition eval. We'll get to that action. Let's first kick it off with, of course, today's playbook, and then we'll talk all about the action. We'll get to the sunrise report and, of course, what that eval is all about. Find why you cannot miss out on this opportunity on today's show. All right, playbook one, guys. We'll take a look at XOM as we take a look at ExxonMobil. And I think this is very important to watch as we're starting to look to see what happens with energy. Energy started to bounce back last week. And I'm thinking, well, do we just get continuation with XOM? And it starts to push there towards the 120. I think this could easily happen. And then we could start to talk about what we start to think about inflation, pressure from oil, and that's exactly what I'm looking at on XLM's chart. It could hold maybe pullbacks to 114 today, then start taking a move back towards 118 and this high here of 117.57. Also keep your eyes on WTI, right? Can oil go back to the $80 mark is what I need to see for this trade to also work out. So keep your eyes on that. That's going to be, of course, on XOM. Let's get to the second one on the playbook as we kick things off to XLP, and we'll talk a little bit about XLP. We've been talking about it somewhat last week and looking to see if we can catch some daily support. It's right off the daily support. We kind of just undercut it a little bit, and now I'm going to watch to see if it just comes ramping back towards the 84.50s. Take a look at the chart here, guys, as it's been sideways period, now holding on the support around the 82.50s. Going to look to see if it can make its way back there towards 83.50s first, and then coming back towards the 84.50s in this week's action. Of course, the weekly has kind of some topping action here. Could pull back to the 82 first, but definitely what I'm looking for is for leaders like Procter & Gamble to start making a move again. Clorox that has going sideways. Colgate-Palmolive, right? Will we get the move where the defensive names start to lift? And does any kind of recession concern come back? These could be higher. Let's get to the third one on the playbook. That's UEC as we continue to talk about uranium and the nuclear play, as this has been a play that we are all over it here at Trade the Pool. And I think this is so important, right? Is giving you guys insights. And it's crazy, but even NNE, guys, is it's checking out my post and liking my post. So that tells me something. Nano nuclear energy, whoever's the social leader, even caught my post. And that's how much we're on top of this nuclear action. SMR has been one we've been talking about since 8. It's at 11, guys. And NNE made a 100% run and now has pulled back, caught the dip on Friday. We were looking at it, wasn't able to play this one and should have been playing it, man, as this one went all the way towards 13, guys. Really nice VWAP pullback. Should have easily been something that I kind of bought back at like kind of the 1160s, looking for a push towards 12 and 13s. Got that on Friday. Now I need to look for pullbacks back towards $12. That's going to be the level that I'll be looking at on NNE, but UEC has a move for above towards 6. We just got a little lift on Friday, so look for potential pullbacks back towards 525s. That's another thing that I'd be looking at on this. Can it come back towards support, fill this gap a little bit, and then take the move? So it doesn't need to be today on UEC, but I'm definitely keeping this on the radar as I'm looking for all these uranium names to make a lift. CCJ, I'm even looking at Valet. Right? So keep your eyes on a bunch of these. URAs, another one that you can watch, right? The Global Uranium ETF. There's a lot of action in this space and a lot of talk that even Amazon might be going into nuclear. We'll talk a little bit about that on today's Sunrise Report, but definitely smash the like out there, guys. It's been a great morning to start it off. I do want to tell you guys all about our limited edition deal that you guys cannot miss out. And why is that? Of course, just take a look at the action. Take a look at what this gives you guys. So if you guys go to the Trade the Pool site, you guys will see we have this up already, guys. And tell you what, I couldn't miss out on this deal. Take a look at how good the deal is here, guys. So the mini buying power, the one that we were coming after, right? Where we had 20,000, right, in the buying power, right? This is just what, $90, $97 right now, I think. Let me just go ahead and kind of confirm the actual amount there. But looking at the packages right here, guys, what do you guys think? It's $97 one-time fee, and the profit target now brought down to $13.50, and trade duration 30 seconds, not the 60 seconds. And we just increased the payout split to 70-30 versus 50-50. And you only need what on the consistency trade? 10 trades. Each position, 50% of the profit can be made on each position versus 30%. So that means you can make a pretty substantial amount, right, on one trade. So I think that this gives you more than enough, the limited buying power. You don't want to be missing out on this opportunity. I'll tell you what, team, I got one myself. Of course, I've been working on the extra buying power because that's one of the bigger packages, but this is going to be something that I can't miss out on. And I hope you guys don't miss out on this. So even if you have another one or maybe have an extra buying power, there's nothing wrong with maybe just getting this one and just taking some shots, right? The fun part is that bringing that profit to loss ratio down, and still a $900 kind of the stop out, right, is $900. There's potential here, guys, to make the rewards. And I'm going to be getting after this one and hoping to get funded. Let's go, guys. Are you guys hoping to get funded? Let me know in the chat. What do you guys think about this limited time deal? Are you guys just as excited as I am to get after it, guys? So once again, 20,000 brought down from 1,800 to 1,350. So trying to help you guys out. And with the trade duration, this could give you the opportunity to get after a little bit of some scalping action, right? So we'll see what happens out there. Definitely smash the like, guys. A lot to take a look at here, but we'll be watching it here. And like always, keep more of the profits, team. Let's get after today's Sunrise Report and see what's up the market right now, guys. There's a lot going on. All right, first up, guys, as we kick things up and the week ahead, right? As this is something definitely to keep an eye out. The week ahead after the Fed's bold 50 basis point cut, all eyes are now shifting back to the economic data. This week, the focus will be on PCE and inflation figures to gauge on how quickly rates may drop from here. Investors will be tuning in on Monday for updates on the service and manufacturing sectors. Look out for insights today from key Fed voices like Atlanta's Fed President Raphael Bostic and Chicago's Fed also speaking today. So keep your eyes on that action. We will see what happens here, as of course, what will happen with the Fed? Will they give us clues on the amount of rate cuts? And do they see concern in the market? All things to keep an eye out for. Let's get to the first one really on the stock news as we get information here from TSM. It's definitely interesting. Global chip titan eyeing the UAE, a new front on the semiconductor war, as this might be opening with Taiwan semiconductor manufacturer, and Samsung Electronics is engaged in talks with the UAE to build mega factories in the Middle East. Right? Abu Dhabi Savan Wealth Fund is playing a pivotal role here, funding the massive expansion. This bold strategy would make the UAE a new player in the global chip race, positioning them against the likes of the US and China. I think this is a great move to just expand the reach around the world, right? And going into different areas could help them get away from the battles of China and US, right? Because that's such a clash. This could be a way to separate from that. Let's get to the third one here as we kick things over now to Intel, as we go over as Intel is making big moves here. There's buzz around Intel Corp as Apollo Group management is reported considering a $5 billion equity investment in the tech giant. This comes after a critical time for Intel, following a challenging Q2 where their earnings nosedived by 84.62%. Leadership turmoil arose as the high-profile board's members' resignation. Combine this with Qualcomm's potential acquisition of Intel, and we could be looking at one of the biggest M&A deals ever, potentially surpassing Microsoft's $69 billion acquisition from Activision. So something definitely to watch. We'll see what happens with Intel. Will someone step up and just take them? It's definitely an opportunity there for Qualcomm. I mean, at the end of the day, their chips are something that's still valued, but they just haven't found the demand out there that was found in Nvidia. And it just seems like they were lacking in moves in all their space, right? They're still good in the chips overall compared to like AMD. But when we talk about the graphics chips, they definitely gave up there, and Nvidia taking lead. Let's get to the next one here, as this is going to be an interesting conversation and one that we've been all over here, right here on Trade the Pool. Amazon going nuclear, guys? What? Amazon might be making nuclear noise here, as we're going to be definitely keeping a focus on this, as Amazon might be making a move into nuclear powered play and meeting its growing energy needs, as a recent job posting for principal nuclear engineer in its data center engineering division hints a strategic shift. The move follows a $650 million deal to acquire a data center campus powered by carbon-free nuclear energy from Talon Energy. Amazon is clearly serious about adding nuclear to its renewable energy mix. Could this be part of a clean energy revolution in the tech behemoth? Of course, I would definitely keep your eyes on this. I've talked about it. I've put it out on Twitter, multiple places, that I think small nuclear reactors are a big investment that you guys can be playing at right now and being early to the trade versus being late to the trade. Of course, I feel this is still early in the technology and it's going to develop in the next couple of years, but something to watch as you keep seeing multiple companies mention this. We're going to see more and more interest go to the theme. We'll see what happens here. Let's get to the last one here, as another information that I think is very important is focusing on China's economic trouble. Across the globe, China's central bank just cut one of its short-term policy rates and injected $10.6 billion into the financial system in a desperate attempt to starve off the deeper economic woes that are seen in China. Analysts are increasingly concerned about China and maybe sliding towards a recession, while some are even predicting that the US-style bank bailout as China's economic sputters. The world will be watching to see if these measures could revive growth, or are we just seeing the start of what could be a very tough 2025 for China. Definitely something to keep an eye out for, guys. We'll see what happens here. Not things that are looking good in China. I have been looking to see if at some point these kind of tech names can start to get a lift. We saw mentions last week a lot about AI being added to Alibaba. What's going to happen here, guys? China's been getting destroyed. Can they bounce back? Something to think about. All right, guys, let's kick it off to the live trading side of things and see what we can come up with. Of course, I'll be also taking a look into the new account, as I now have 3. I have the swing, the extra buying power, and the limited. Yes, I said limited. Check it out, guys. Our brand new eValve. Let's get to it. Let's get to the live trading action and see what we can come up with today.
Wants 200, baby.
You ready to get back to the trading action?
You aim, you shoot, and make money.
It's going to be a great day. You guys know where you're at. What's going on, my team? How we doing, guys? You ready to get back after it? I see you out there. Let's go. Let's go. Sound that alarm. Let's get things going. You guys know where you're at. It's Trade the Pool. Let's go, team. All right, let's see what's going on in the market right now as we take our first look into the market. Let's go, team. All right, let's go ahead. Let's take a look at what's going on right now in the market as we're seeing a little bit of some action. Nothing too crazy right now. Let's go to the SPY. Take a look there as we're starting to see a little bit of some topping from this morning action. And one thing that I'm starting to think about is that, this is going to be a tough market, guys. We're going to see back and forth markets here, I think, towards the end of the year. And that's the hardest time to trade, right? Is that when you're trading in the chop. So expect more of the chop. And we'll be seeing what happens today as we're just slowly rising, but could take a downturn here right before the open. I'm still keeping an eye out for it because it just seems to me like we're just kind of climbing up this rising, I'll call it an ascending triangle. And then we can always make some elevator moves down. We'll wait to find out there. All right, we'll also take a look at some stocks out there that we're moving today. Some penny stocks on the move, nothing insane here this morning. I was taking a look at this BDTX and maybe should have gone for the short earlier. I was watching it here around the 7 for a short. It came back down to 565. So definitely keep seeing these biotechs make a rip, but also make a move right back down. And VVE, very similar. Moved right back down to 7. Now it's trying to recollect and maybe make a move back there towards that 850. We'll see what happens on this NVVE. Saw it trying to make the move. Let's see if it makes a move here. I'm going to stay on the sideline for now. I'll be watching these smaller names, especially with the new account, guys, as I have smaller buying power with that one. But I'm going to be trying to make very simple. I don't have to overextend myself. I'm just going to be trying to make probably about maybe $100 a day. Really, you got to break this down, right? You got to find what's the best way to go about it, right? So we can think about it this way, right? We need to make $13.50, right? So we divide that by about 4 weeks, right? So really, I only need to make maybe about $337 a week. Looking closer at trying to make maybe 400 a week, right? And so at 400 a week, if I'm going to have 400 a week, I got to divide this by 3 because I expect to have probably about 2 red days, right? You could look into that action, right? So about 400 on the plus side, you could divide it by 3. So pretty much on the good days, we want about at least $133 in profits, but going to be looking to get about 100 to 150 profits a day and risking about 75 from 30 to about 75, probably about $30 each trade, trying to take about maybe 2 in the red. And that's the way you got to be thinking about it here. It's what's the balance, right? Because if I start going for $500 trades, that's easily to get wrecked, right? $900 is the max risk right now. So that's something to think about. If I divide that 900 divided by 4, that's going to give me at least $225 of risk for 4 weeks. And that's if everything goes in the red, right? So things to think about. We'll see what happens with this account. Going to be trying to get after it and get that limited edition funding. Go for it, team. See what you guys think about that. Let's catch up in the chat. What's going on? Quick scalp on NVVE. Get it, Steph. Vic, let's go. Let's go, man. And future day trade. This one might be for you, my friend. I know you've been trying to get after it. Hey, take a look at it, man. We'll see what happens. Maybe is this the account for you? Future day trade. Let me know, man. Not a bad one, right? Trump said no more debates. Why not? Because he was losing on those debates. It's no longer sleepy Biden. Harris coming at him hard. We'll see what happens if he keeps and takes another debate. I don't think he will. He'll just hang on the sidelines now, as the last one was pretty bad for him with his animal eating conversation. And even if he was right, he just sounded really weird. And that definitely hurt him on the last debate. We'll see what happens out there. 80,000 is the best one. Hey, it's not a bad one. I lost the 160 30 times already. Hey, future day trade. This one might be for you, man. The smaller one where you can stay small. Just stay small, man. Try to figure it out. I know you can get after it. All right, we'll see what else is out there, guys. Let's take a look at different names and stocks that are moving today. Of course, Intel getting the lift there. We'll see what happens if this one can hold on. It's already pushed up there to 22s, but this had come down there back to $18. So we'll see what happens today. AMD was starting to get going as we're starting to get a little bit of a lift in some of these semiconductor names. But look at Nvidia. Nvidia pretty much not going anywhere with the recent lift. So I think you got to keep this one on watch. Today it was back down to 116. If there's anything I feel like could bring the market down, it's if Nvidia starts to struggle. So I'll be watching to see if Nvidia starts to make its way back to 100, or are we going to 120s? There's two ways there, right? So I'll be keeping an eye out to see what happens on it and see if we can make it. All right, Hermont, I just signed up last night. Would this limited edition, would this be applicable to me as well? No, I do not think it would be, as we just put this out, and this is a separate account than the other one. So you would have to select specifically the limited time edition and have to have gotten this one. But reach out to our customer service team. We'll see what they're able to come up with. Really, that's not my decision, unfortunately, Hermont, but definitely reach out to them. Let them know if it really is something that you just signed last night. Maybe they can work something. I'm not sure. Of course, I'm not sure how that would work out, but I would definitely at least reach out to them. And before you make any type of trade on that account, right? If you've already made a trade, I wouldn't even come close to telling you that you could get it back. But really, right now, I think you just reach out to them. If you haven't made a single one, maybe you get it back. I'm not sure how that will work out. But I can tell you, I would definitely at least talk to them. That's one thing that we're definitely kind of real. We try to keep it, we try to show compassion. We try to definitely make adjustments if we can. So reach out to us. Day trade with Tony. If you bought a mini but haven't traded, you might be able to get it switched. Exactly. That's what I would think, day trade with Tony. As long as you haven't taken any trade on it and it was just like bought like in the last, like, let's say 24 hours, maybe we can figure something out, right? All right, let's get after it. Let's see what we can do. Future day trade, let me know, man. I'm going to be doing it myself. One thing's for certain, on the first day of any evaluation account, I'm going to take it easy because the first kind of trade is so important to get it in the right direction. So smaller trades, maybe 50 shares to 100 shares, right? Because I only want to do what? Start to get it in the right direction. Then we can worry about sizing up if we need to start pushing it, right? The first thing is risk preservation, and then we'll look at rewards. So let's build that. And of course, I could also trade the VIXI. The VIXI is one way that I could scalp with a small account, right? Small account, and then get after this trade, right? Of course, this has been dropping and could drop back down below 11 this week if we still see some kind of moves to the upside. But we could also kind of come rampant and kind of push right back up, right? And start going back towards the 14s. I'll be watching this on both sides, maybe even a short. And with the 30-second rule, not an hour rule, or not a minute rule, this can give me even more ability to take quick scalps. I can still get 1,000 of VIXI easily. And you guys have seen me make easily 300, 400, even 600 with 1,000 shares in the VIXI. So this is one way that I could go about this trade and just trade the VIXI over and over again. That's one way that I'm thinking about going about it with this smaller account. I'm trying to find a smaller vehicle that I can trade often and trade with size, right? And of course, with 20,000, I don't have too much in the buying power, but just think about it this way, right? If I take a look at the VIXI, right? Now I have this right now, right? Let's say if I wanted to go long here, let's say I'm just going to put 11s out there, not really going long here, but just to kind of show you guys the amount of buying power that's available to you. And there's a lot, right? I mean, I could go here and then put like 1,000 at 11 and say, yeah, I want to go ahead and buy that, right? Things like that, right? I think there's definitely potential for you to get after it, team. I think that's what we need to be looking at. We'll see what happens if we're able to go ahead and make a nice trade in the VIXI today, start to get this to push through 12. That's what I'll be watching. Really 12 reversals is what I'm looking for. We'll see if we can get it up there. All right. Used to take 150 trades a day, now less than 20. Yeah, a little bit different there. All right. Do the 80 account instead. Trust me. Okay. Well, I'll take a look at it at least. All right, guys, let's keep taking a look. If you guys have a stock you guys want to take a look at this morning, let me know. We'll be watching some of the other names and starting to take a look at the market itself and seeing what's out there, right? Of course, Tesla has been one that we've been looking at to fill the gap to 245. And look at that bad boy. It's right there. Could start taking off for the 260, the 270s if it really wants to go. And of course, we know that the robotics move is coming soon, guys. So I would say ride that into the first week of October. First week of October, it's already going to be a little bit less. So this is the week for Tesla. If it really wants to get going, this is the week. This is the week where it can go up to 270 and get up there and look like it wants to just completely break out at 300. Now, of course, after the robotics event, maybe it gets at 300. But I think at that point, you're on the buy the rumor, sell the news event. So at this point, you got the liftoff available. Now, can you get to the next levels? 270s and 300 in reach? Let's see what happens, guys. All right, that's Tesla, of course. And if Tesla starts making the move, I could scout Ford or GM because these love to follow. And it doesn't even have to be a move that, let's say, is for specifically GM, right? Or Ford. It just literally starts to give them the lift. Last time Tesla was moving up like this, right? That's exactly when GM started to get the lift. That's when Ford got this lift here towards 11. And that's why some people were a little concerned as this came crashing back down. I still remember when I was shorting this at 14. Man, I wish I would have still had that position. But hey, that's just how it goes. Of course, we could take a look also at the industrial space. I still have Picard on the long side, and I have this in the swing account. We can talk a little bit about it, take a quick peek at it. You guys can see it here. I still got a 98.23. Is going to look to see if this can take off and see if the industrials can keep pushing. Deere, I want to see that get towards 420. Cat, let's see if this can get there towards 380s and 400 and really start to climb. Picard, of course, I'll look for that to get to the 100 spot and look to see if like a name like GE can continue pushing. Look at GE, guys. I know a lot of people that are so against GE because of what they went through when GE was in its down period. But if you actually look where GE is, it's coming back to 2007 pricing. So all those people, all the boomers that got screwed in GE, well, guess what? They hate GE, but us new traders and investors and even millennials should be looking at GE. That's been one of the absolute best trades since 2023. Look at it, guys. 300% and straight up. Change in the business. They made the change, and all the boomers are still upset. I see this all the time when I talk about GE. They just get upset. They're like, no, this is not going anywhere. But yet it's gone 300% in the last 2 years. So, hey, when you hear someone against GE, ask them, did you have this investment before? Because it definitely left some sour taste in a lot of investors' mouth. We'll see what happens on that action. Let's keep going. What else is out there? GE definitely going to be one to watch there. We'll see if Honeywell can keep making a move. NNE, will these nuclear names really continue to lift? Definitely something to watch for, and you could get some pullback. CEG, that had that news mention, right? That was the big one that got it going. That had a really good day on Friday. Even though it had a gap up, it continued another 7%. This morning, continuing another 11%. So I think at this point, you're a little bit extended, so be careful for pullbacks on CEG. And of course, that's in the utility space. So we'll look to see if we finally get a turnaround in utilities. Utilities have stayed strong. We'll see if they finally start to break down and make a move towards the downside. Energy, of course, looking to see if XOM can go higher. We've talked a little bit about that. Financials, I'm still looking for those to come down. They're up right now. XLF up there towards 45.52s. I have about 300 shares of XLF. So looking to see if this can come down. Really don't want to see it back above 45.80s. $46 will get me out. That's about 60 cents higher. So looking for this to start to break down. We'll see what happens there in XLF and what can happen in this kind of swing. I want to keep taking some more swings. We'll see what happens out there, guys. Definitely a hard one. All right, looking into the scanners to see what else is happening right now. I'm seeing Tesla start to pull back. The Q's continuing higher here as it's starting to kind of grind towards the upside move through the 483s. Definitely going to be looking to see if we can get to the 485s today. We're right now trading at 483s. I think we're kind of stuck in the middle in between 486 and down there towards 480. So that's a big range. That's about $6. Something to keep an eye out for. All right. We'll look to see what happens in SMMT. I've been watching this one for a while now, seeing if it's going to take another lift. I think we keep this one on the radar today because it had now a couple of days to kind of go sideways near the bottom there. Has the opportunity to get the volume that's needed. You can see it on the MACD how it's trying to reload. It just needs volume. It needs some buying. So I'll be watching to see what happens on this SMMT. But I would definitely keep an eye on it, especially back above 25. It could really get moving here. So I'll put alerts on both sides of things and see if we can catch it. All right, let's keep going, guys. We'll take a look at some other action, see what we can come up with today. I'm ready to keep trading, guys, and ready to go ahead and keep sizing up, guys. Last week, we made the attempted move. I still had a positive week, but it wasn't positive by much. So what does that tell me? That as I size up, I need to take those profits maybe a little bit earlier and starting to bring down the profit to loss ratio some because I'm going for that big swing, but not receiving it. So as I get bigger sizing, I might just have to take some off the table, pay myself, and use that cushion as the risk. So essentially what they call using the house's money, right? So I'll be trying to do that more and more this week. All right, guys, let's stay focused. It's right now 9:09. We're getting towards 9:10. In a few minutes, we'll get closer towards the bell. We need to keep things going and focused and see what we can come up with. BDTX, we'll see what happens on that. Let's take a look here. BDTX. Right now on the 550s. Let's see what happens on that. That's still coming down now. I saw that 7 rejection. This doesn't look good at all. This looks like it keeps coming down back towards 5. I think this trade might be done here in BDTX. And a little bit upsetting because I wanted a short at 7. But this thing went a little bit higher. It went to like 733s. I can show you on the 1 minute where I was thinking about shorting. It's definitely taking a look at it, but just didn't get after it. And that's why you see the lines here drawn. I was watching it right here when it was at like the 730s, looking for a cut down back towards 7. Could have shorted around here on the 710s and then looking for the break at 7. It comes down through 7, comes back, rejects that move to get towards above the 710. And then from there, it just starts to fade. So at this point, nothing that I like on BDTX. I don't like the action now as it's already made the move. Same thing with NVVE. I feel like these two have already made the move and they're pretty much done. But that's just the way that I see it, guys. We'll see what happens if we can still get some moves out there. Nothing that I like on those right now. And even though I want to trade those, I'm not going to push it on something that's not moving. BTYX is another one that I'll keep on the radar. It looks like it's trying to load up, but hasn't made any type of attempt to the upside. All right, we'll see what happens on some other ones. See if you guys have a stock that you guys are looking at today. And we'll see if maybe some action starts to turn around on Redfin. This has been really hot, guys, really hot. Up there towards now, 15s, and has been going sideways here. So looking to see what happens in the real estate sector this week. Zillow has been also climbing, right? Slowly but surely getting that up move. Open, we'll see if this one can make a move to the upside. Rocket has been making a move too. But now I think these might start to make a little bit of an adjustment pullback, right? An opportunity on the pullback. So these could actually look like shorts today. And these are in the financial sector. So if I start to see the financials start to pull back, that's something to look at. All right, we'll see what else is out there in the market today. Uber has lately been getting in the news with Google, of course, with their Waymo mention. We'll see if this one can make another move. It's trying to make a push above 80s. And definitely you can see the strength in this. I just keep an eye on it. It's nothing that I'm really watching all the time, but Uber is pretty strong right now. And Coin, can the crypto names come back? I don't know, guys. I don't know about that one. That's a harder one to definitely take a look at. We'll continue to watch silver and gold to see what happens there. AG sideways off to $6. I got this wrong last week when I tried to short it, but doesn't mean that I can't take the trade again, right? That's what you got to be. You got to be able to be nimble. Sometimes you're going to lose. Take the loss. Don't try to attach yourself to that loss because the next trade could be the win. I'll be watching what happens here in silver and gold. Will we start to see some pullback in this area, or will we see continued liftoff? That's something to look at in gold and silver. All right, guys, it's about 9:12. We still got a little bit more for here. I'm going to take a little bit of some sips of some coffee. Keep it going, guys. Keep throwing up the stocks in the chat. If you guys got a stock you're watching this morning, throw it up. I'll try to catch it there. Let's go, team. All right, traders, let's keep going. Let's get ready for the open here as we take a look at what's going on in the market. Right now, starting to see that downturn come in there as the Qs start to leak here, guys. Now the question is, will we come after it? And a little part of me is already thinking about getting after some success. As that was climbing on Friday, we're back down towards the hourly support. So this actually making a good look here off the hourly support. The hourly support around the 2240s. So if you want to bet here, there's an opportunity here to risk about 20 cents here from the bottom. So it doesn't look too bad. We were just down there towards the 2240s. Now we're starting to get the lift here, looking for a little bit of a dip, but that's already looking strong here in success. All right, we'll see if that starts to get the lift there, guys. And that's another way to play it, right? You can take a look to see what happens in Nvidia. Will Nvidia come crashing down? That's one thing that I'm looking at. AMD loves to go up and then come right back down. So just be careful out there with that one. And watching the action right now to see what happens, right? Not trying to take too many bets here before the bell, but definitely taking a look at the action and seeing the declines start to come in there. Intel, will that come crashing right back down? Micron, maybe Qualcomm out there on the downside action. You guys can see it, right? Sideways action could take the next leg to the downside. I'd keep an eye out on this, guys. It could start to make a breakdown here. A lot of resistance in the 175 that it could not get through. So the 164 level for Qualcomm is definitely something to keep an eye out for. I'll be watching it today to see if it makes a hard downside move here out the gates. Through 165, it's definitely starts to be a watch as it could break that 164 and come back towards the 160s. So already dropping really fast here in the pre-market. I'll be keeping an eye on it, guys, but definitely not seeing some good action right now. Seeing the downside action come in here. We'll see if the VIXI really gets a pop. Something to watch for, especially on that smaller account, guys. I definitely want to take some trades on that smaller account and be ready to take some in like a trade like the VIXI, right? Because I can go bigger size in this and make some quick money on this, right? And so Of course, I can make, a good little, $100, $200 trades on this with 500 shares, right? And risk about $50 with 10 cents. So things like this is what I'll be looking at with the VIXI. Maybe not the 1,000 shares. Maybe it's just 500 shares. But I've been getting after it with this one. We'll see what happens. Jose says he likes Bank of America at 40. To the long or to the short side, Jose? Let me know. Wheeler. Oh, Greg Scott Wheeler. Wheeler. I'll tell you one thing. I'm not touching this thing with a 10-foot pole, man. This thing's so hard to trade, guys. Looks like it just made a split adjustment here. Of course, that's why it's up there towards 17. And so if you're wondering why it's up there, well, now you know. We'll see what happens with this one. It's trying to make another lift here as it's been trying to push here. Look at the volume, though, guys. The volume on this thing is atrocious. That's the word for it, atrocious. Because some days it doesn't trade any volume, then some days it gets the pickup. We'll see what happens with this thing. It's trying to make another lift off, right? It's trying to push there towards the 25s. Could eventually come cracking down back below, let's say, this support. So if it comes back down below 1270s, yes, give me a call. Other than that, I don't want anything to do with this Wheeler. All right, what about Rivian? Let's go. Rivian, I think you just take a look at Tesla. That's the way I keep things simple. But Rivian's been on the pullback as of late. So looking to see if it can come back to this trend line. It did fill the gap, so that's actually a good sign. You finally did fill that gap here to the left-hand side. So look to see if you get a reversal day back through that, right? So back through Friday's high first. I wouldn't be reacting too early on this on the long side. Maybe the short side here, but to tell you the truth, I think you just got to kind of watch it. It's kind of in the middle. Take a look at the weekly. I'd go to even maybe the monthly to kind of show me more and more of that. You can see how it's kind of in the middle, trying to reload. It's done an attempt to break 20s multiple times, and then it's broke it here, and then just couldn't hold. Every drive failing. So you got to look for that next one to come through this line and actually hold above that. So make a move into like the 24s or 22 first, and then start to show me that it wants to lift. For right now, I think it's a no touch, but what I'm seeing on the monthlies is what's telling me that. Would you buy DJT above VWAP? And the problem with DJT is that I've seen it move in what I call momentum moves, right? Where it's like straight up and then straight down, straight up, straight down. And you can see this on the daily chart, how the pops are quickly followed by drops. Pops, drops, 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 pops, drops. Yes, I just said that like 20 times. The truth is, the chart shows it 20 times. Nothing that I want to trade. If anything, I think this is the next time this pops big, short it. The chart says it. If anything, it says that you have probably about 80 to 90% accuracy on shorts on big pop days for DJT. And so sometimes you got to look at the chart and actually do what the chart is telling you. It's always a fake out to the upside. It's a big gap up followed by leak right back down. Big gap up, leak right back down. Big gap up, leak right back down. So in this case, how do you trade this to the upside? If anything, I'd be trading this to the downside. I did hear mentions out there that DJT was trying to kind of do some purchase out there of different things. I mean, honestly, you have no idea what this will turn into. I think this is just like trying to catch fire. You know what I mean? Like you literally just, you've seen the kind of like a steak with fire, and I'm just tossing it, throwing, just juggling with fire. If you like to juggle with fire, hey man, power to you. Go check out DJT. But really, to me, it's just trying to get your hand burnt. I'm good on this one. I've tried it. You guys have probably, you saw me trade it here, and this thing just destroyed me. And every time it pops, it drops. Opens at this, you got to look for those gap ups. So gap ups followed by the move right back down. That's what I would be looking for on this thing. Doesn't look good though. I'd leave this alone. And at any point, Trump could sell. He said he wouldn't sell, but it's Trump. He could do whatever the hell he wants. If he sees he wants to make the money, he could easily just sell out of this thing. I know I wouldn't touch it. All right, let's keep going. We'll see what else is out there. Very nice trade on MS. Was able to flip it and went long. Will be exiting for a spike. Also, CORZ went long swing at 1160s for an average price. Nice swing trade. Get it, Izzy. Get it. Let's go. Wish you the best, Izzy. Been doing really good, Izzy, and keep battling, right? And sometimes you do got to flip. If you see the momentum, don't be afraid of flipping. Don't ever hold the trade because I view a side. You don't want to flip and go reverse a trade. Choose what you think is best, because the truth is if we're going to be traders, we need to think about that, right? What do I think is best? Because I need to build up my decision-making skills and have confidence in my own ability. Same thing you need to be doing out there, guys. Let's keep getting after it. The AVL going. Steph, let's take a look. Cavell, this is a tobacco company, and you don't see these move very often, but still, it's already getting the nice little jump here. 1 minute had 1, 2, 3, loaded up for that fourth attempt through the 140s. It didn't make it right here. This is that failed attempt for the breakout right here. That candle. Now you're on that reload button, right? So A, B, C. Maybe you get one more dip into the 122s and then look to see if it starts to work its way right back up. So that's what I would be watching here. I can pull this down here, kind of give me a little bit more insights to like kind of adjust it here, right? So that's what I would be looking at here to see if we can get that nice move. Definitely could see this start to push. I'd be just continuing to watch to see if it can make that one more pullback. And I always look to the left to see if there's a resistance or support that it can come to. Right there makes sense to me, right? And so this high around here, it was acting as support. So somewhere into that 115, 120 range, and then starts to work higher. If it holds up here on the VWAP, that's fine too. That's holding up there in the buyers area where the buyers are just keeping the control. But usually I look to see if the buyers get stuffed here out the gates, and then this starts to make the move. 135, big level to watch it is right here at this 144. That's where it really wanted to get going, and it just ran into a wall, right? And so you can even see probably selling at that wall, and you can see how you got high volume. And then right here, as it first approaches to 143, you got a seller that ran into that. It reloaded, tried to break through him, couldn't get there. So you need some good volume to get through that 145 and that 150 pricing. And look at it right now, trying to make that move. We'll see if it gets to move through the 150s. Right now, I don't see it, but hey, to each his own. If you guys like this in the pre-market, get after it, team. We'll see what happens in KAVL. All right, still seeing the Qs dropping here, guys. So we'll see what happens if we start to get them push. Let's go, let's go. Fake news. It's phony stuff. It will never happen. All right, guys, let's keep going. Let's see what we can do. All right, it's 9:25. The market's going to be open in just less than 5 minutes. Excited to keep things going here. Make some good old money and push on this another account. And remember, in the limited edition accounts, those smaller ones, I have a $300 max loss. And that actually helps me because I could have 3 of those in the account, right? I don't even want to lose close to $300 a day because that's going to be, I think, pushing it a little bit. And what happens is that a lot of times, if you get to that $300, right, and unrealized, it just closes the account, right? So you don't want to even get it close to that, right? Really, I'm looking to keep losses 100% under that 150. If I get to a loss at any point that's 150, I got to cut it. Because we shouldn't be losing that much. So I should be losing more like 75 and making like $150 on the top end, and maybe even up to, let's say, times 3, right? So 210 on the top end. If I see anything above, let's say from 150 to $210, it's more than okay to take the money and run, right? That's the approach on the limited account. And if you guys haven't done so already, check out our brand new limited, and dare I say limited account. So go ahead and take a look. Dude, I want that limited edition. Yes, Rich, it's not bad at all. There's a reason why I went after it, right? I have the extra, and I was even like, you know what? I kind of need this today. I want it. So get after it, team. 1350. That's it. That's all we need to make, guys. And a 70-30 profit split? Oh, I'm ready, team. I'm ready to step it up. The question is, who's getting it with me? Let me know in the chat. All right, let's keep going, team. We'll see what else. 30 seconds also. No longer this 1 minute. So, hey, if that's your type of game, let's get after it. Careful. Kava was up between 145 and 850 in June, I think. Manage risk. Yeah, definitely manage risk. Yeah, that is huge. That really helps for those penny names, right? We'll see what happens. All right, Rich, how are you going after this? Let me know. What do you think about this? All right, can't beat that deal. Definitely can't beat it, guys. I mean, at the end of the day, it's actually a really good deal with 900 and only need to make 1350. That's almost a 1-to-1. That's way better. And I'll be honest, that's way better than even our swing account right now than I've been battling with. But hey, let's see what we can do today, guys. I'm ready to get after it and ready to get that money. Can we trade options with that account? No, Vic. No, you can't, man. It's strictly equities, but like always, you can always ask the questions. All right, we'll see what happens on that KVL to see if it gets to that 150. Right now, I'm looking around. NVVE is still in play. It's not a bad one here. It's just trying to reload. So I would look at a 15-minute chart and play it that way. So I could see it here trying to reload on the 15-minute. It needs to hold here, though, right now and at this kind of 710 spot. So I'd be watching right now to see what happens out the gates here with this NVVE. It still looks good, right? It just needs to kind of hold and start making a rip towards 770s. It's something that I'd watch for. It's had multiple attempts down, up 1, down 1, up 2, down 2, up 3 just recently. Could test down here on this wick and then turn back. So 7-3 test and then right back up through 740s. I'd keep this one on watch. This one might be the first trade in that new account, as I also look at smaller names to maybe come after this account. On my main day trading account, right? That's where I'm going to be trying to go with higher quality names. I'm trying my best this week to not trade penny names in this account. I can still trade the VIXI because that's done me well, but I'm trying to stick to more names that have done me better. And I looked at tech names. Look at the reversal we're getting now in Nvidia. This is a very important sign this morning, guys. If Nvidia is really weak, I'm going back to short side. But if Nvidia is strong, I'm just looking at upside. If anything, we can have upside potential really push. Apple is another main name to the upside, right? But look at the action that we got on Friday at the close there on Apple. It was a wicked move to the downside. So this could recover today on the hourly trend line. So we talked about this daily trend line and how we could approach this trend line when it was at 222s. It went there in a hurry. Now we're back here and trying to reload. So this could come to 224 today and then start to work its way higher. We'll see what happens there in Apple. Markets open, guys. Be careful out there. I'll be watching to see what happens in the action out there. And if you guys see anything, let me know. First thing, I'm going to be putting it on that new account to maybe take a nice trade this morning in that one. So if you guys see a penny name or something like that, hey, let me know, guys. This NVVE coming right back towards 7, and it's moving all over the place at that 7. The spread went wide there. It bounced off of 7, right back up there to 730. So got to be really careful with this one as the speed is coming on there, and it's just a little bit too fast there for me at 7, guys. I saw it there for a second. It was literally a second there before it got there towards the 740s. So this is the spot where it could really break out. Let's see if it tries to trap some traders, comes back towards like 720s, and there's the breakout, guys. So I feel like I read it really well today. I just didn't take the trade, and a lot of that was the way that the trade happened there. It was very low liquidity trade where it went to 7 for a second, back up to 770. So on the small account, this is that trade that could already be setting you up in the green. I'm looking for attempts back down now to 730s. That's the only way to maybe join the trade and risk off of 30s. So I'll be taking a look at that. Might take a 50 share trade on this at 730s. All right, 770s trying to reload there on that NNVE. Poet also making a lift there. PDTX, we'll keep an eye out on that, see if we start to get another move in one of these smaller names. Also going to be using my Benzinga scanners a little bit more. I want to use those to tell me what's moving fast and as of late, right? So watching right now, NVVE trying to go for that 8 push, guys. It did pull back to the 740s. Now trying to go for that 8 push. Here's that 8 push there. 798s. Can it get into that $8? There's 807. So that was already a nice little trade right there. This right there to the resistance at 8. Next level from here, it goes. Next level I have is 877. So good potential there, but nice little opening drive there on NVVE. Hope somebody was able to nail that. All right, guys, I didn't get that one, but I'll be watching to see what's going on in the market overall. SPY straight down out the gates. VIXI starting to make the up move here. So I could go for a spike, a scalp here. QQQs are straight down. Nvidia is down. Qs went down fast there, guys. I'm going to take an attempt here on SOXS. SOXS is one that I'll be trying to take an attempt here in the new account. SOXS, let's see if I can get it here. All right, trying to get a little bit of some pullback, not getting it right now. It could just take off here, so that's where it gets a little difficult. Do I just buy the 2250s? Would love to see a triple bottom here. Holding these 40s pretty well here. All right, starting to see that lift there, starting to come in. Looking around, I'm seeing the Qs hold the support right now, so it's going to come back. Give me an attempt here. I would like to see it go back to the 2220s, and then I can take the shot. Apple down out the gates. Tesla's strong, guys. Tesla is strong here. Moving to the upside is Tesla. So I've talked about how Tesla is strong out there. Nvidia pretty weak here. That's what's keeping me on watching SOXS. Watching Nvidia for signs, guys. I'm trying to wait here because right now we're getting this kind of mixed noise. The Qs made this attempt to the downside, but watching to see if Nvidia can wash out. Apple's still red. That's still pretty hard there. Look at Tesla with the takeoff here, guys. Tesla to 245. There it goes, guys. It's trying to make that move to 246 and strong. I've talked about how this gap was there. It's filling it right now. There's the fill, finally officially filled. And we created this on when? September 5th, guys. Updated it on the 12th. What is today? It's the 23rd. So no one can tell me that I cherry pick. I always tell you guys these moves early on. Why? Because I want you guys to catch it. How you trade it, it's up to you. But right here on Trade the Pool, don't miss it, team. And if you're watching this for any reason and you don't trade with us, you're missing out. Catch it, guys. All right, let's get going. Let's see what happens. That Tesla, nice little fill there on the gap. Could keep going higher. I talked about how 250s, 270s in reach this week. We'll see if it makes a nice move to the upside. NVVE got there towards the 8s. It got all the way up there towards 877, team. What a call this morning on the 15-minute chart. 7 was the good pullback. It was too fast of a trade there for me. But boy, oh boy, what a nice trade there. If you're able to get that lift, you got some good money already, guys, on that NVVE. Poet. We'll see what happens on that one. It's trying to break the 380s. It's holding on pretty well right now. This is the semiconductor. Haven't heard of this one before. Poet Technologies. So take a look at that, guys. All right, we'll see what happens in some other trading action. But Poet doing pretty well right now. Q is trying to break down. SOXS holding the pullback right now. Nvidia still doing well, though. That's my problem with the market right now, is Nvidia still doing well. It did make a down attempt here, but not really a breakdown move. I'd keep an eye on the hourly for Nvidia. And I'm trying to see right now, do we go to the upside of this hourly or do we go to the downside? Right now, I feel like if I take too many trades this morning early, I'm just giving up money for no reason. The market's not going anywhere. It's making fake moves up and down. Tesla is definitely the top mover probably in the Qs. I'll take a look at it, but I can already kind of think that if I see here, it's not. Actually, CEG to the upside. That's the top mover. Micron also, good mentions in the chat. I saw mentions of that. PayPal is one that we were watching that has been hot as of late. Really starting to push there in PayPal. So look for Square to start to play catch up. So this is one leader laggard style trading. I really like this right now. So I'm going to take a swing trade on this if I have the buying power here. XLF lost there, so I do have the buying power here. I really like this off the 67s here today. So not a bad area to maybe take a shot here. So you know what? I'm going to take a shot here on Square. Square. I really like this here today, guys. So definitely want to see the Qs go back to green here, but it looks good here. Would like to see this go back to the 67 spot. You can see the daily chart. Daily chart has a pullback that it could go to 66. So I see this going to 70s eventually, but Square is not a bad one to watch here as PayPal has really gotten going lately. So looking for pullbacks back on Square today to take a swing trade. We'll see what happens on that. But the way that the market is right now, I don't want to take the long, just jumping in it, but it looks good. Picard, though, going higher today. We'll see if that can keep going. Can XLI continue to make the move? Will Deere continue to go higher? That's another way to take a look at this trade. CAT is another one that I'm looking at. We'll see what happens. Industrials leading the action. Let's see. Energy leading the action. XOM, guys, was on the trade alert, and there it is, guys. On the playbook this morning, getting a nice little lift there to the 116 as oil goes higher. XLE going higher. I'd take a look at Chevron. Chevron for pullbacks at 146 seemed to make sense there. We'll see what happens. Going back to SOXS, going to the day trade account here. This is the newer one. Still seeing SOXS holding well, but Nvidia now coming holding in there, not going to the downside. I'm seeing Apple come back fast to the upside. That's one stock that I'm not going to fight, guys. Apple is one that I want to bet to the upside with today. So I'm looking for pullbacks now on Apple back towards 227. That's where the level is where you saw buying this morning, all off that 227. So that's the area where I'd look for maybe attempted moves right back down to maybe buy off of. So that's what I'm looking at right now. You can see this reversal on the 5-minute right off that 227. So still taking a look at Nvidia to see what's going on there. But hey, that 227 pullback on Apple could be coming pretty fast. Nvidia now finally starting to show some weakness. So I got to look at the hourly there. The hourly is what's going to tell me if I start to trade to the downside there. You see this 115.75 range. I'm looking at that for Nvidia. VIXI is still not trading up higher. If the VIXI was trading at 12, that would tell me something more that we're looking at continued downside. That's not what I'm seeing here, guys. Utilities is right behind energy. Basic materials still doing well. Silver is actually a little bit red right now. I'm looking to see what happens here. AG trying to load up. What will happen in gold? Gold making a little bit of an up move today right now. GLD up towards 2051. Actually, not doing too bad there. Tesla up to 247s, guys. There's a nice breakout. All right, DJT dropping fast. No news. What? You know it. Your boy put you guys on a little bit of a warning shot this morning as I talked about pops and drops on DJT. Take a look at that drop. Boom, flush it on you. And that's how it goes, team. So just be careful out there. That DJT, it's probably going to be good that you stay away, man. Stay away. All right, we'll see what happens there. Trump, what's going on, man? You giving away free money or did you sell out? We'll see. We'll find out what happens. LUNR now starting to break down. This one had been making big moves to the upside. It actually is breaking down today and looks good for short opportunity. All right, so LUNR. I'm just getting SOX to lift here, guys. Nvidia trying to make a breakdown here. So I'm just keeping an eye on it. I did not trade SOX today. Was looking at it, but Apple is what got me a little bit concerned. Watching this LUNR, I want this to come back towards 880s here. 880s, I won't mind shorting. We'll see what happens there. ESTS is another one that I'd look to see if this gets red today, because that's in the same area, right? Kind of that space mobile kind of action there. We'll see what happens. This has been loading up, trying to make an up move, but could start to break down. This has made an awesome move on the weekly, and now could start becoming back towards 20. So I'd be looking at this at potential downside action as a potential short today, right? So this actually looks pretty decent. Down, rejects the VWAP, down, rejects the VWAP right here. Look for one more VWAP rejection off the 2650s to go back down through the 2620s. So this one might actually be our first trade on the new account, and might go for a short here with like about 100 shares. Nothing crazy on the risk here, but this one could get going after it starts to break down. So the 15-minute could reject the 15-minute candle here, 2653s, and then could come back down towards the 2560s. So it's about $1 on the potential reward, and about maybe I risk here $20 or something like that. So let's see if we get the pop and then that drop to come in here. 1 attempt to the upside, 2 attempts to the upside, 3. This is that 4th trying to break out. Then I'm going to look to fails and then starts to come down. So first let it try to break to that 2660, and then I can come hammering. All right, just hit that 2650s. Now starting to slow down. I wanted to attempt to go to 2655s and then fail. Spread's about 4 there, so just to give that mentality there. Tesla taking off here, guys. I'm watching Nvidia start to hold up a little bit, so keeping an eye on that. The SPY starting to hold up a little bit there. Apple pulling back towards that 227. So just keeping an eye on the Qs right now. Big, strong, though, move in Tesla. What a move there, guys. And what is that? Exactly what I tried to tell you guys ahead of time. That's buy the rumor, sell the news. The battery event, October 10th. Been talking about it since last week. There's a reason why. You got to get ahead of catalysts, not after catalysts, ahead of them. And there you guys see it. Tesla continuing some strength. There's the down action starting to come in this AST. I'm going to go ahead and try to get it here, guys. I just grabbed the 35s. Definitely got a bad entry fill there. I will say that. I jumped a little bit too quickly on that. Chased a little bit on the market entry there. So should be closer towards the 2650s here. Just got to keep the risk involved here. This is the new account here. So let's see what happens, guys. Taking the first trade here. Let's see what happens on this. It's back towards the 40s. The spread is a little bit wider, about 7 cents here, but I don't mind it here. It looks like it could go for the takedown. It's just rejected to make that breakout move. Here's that breakout attempt here. Got to keep that in watch on the upside here. Looking for a rejection in the 2650s. Definitely this should have been the area to kind of short. I just reacted on that breakdown. Wicks are tricks sometimes, team. So just be careful on that. We'll see what happens here on ASTS. All right, attempted that breakout and failed there, right? And so now I'll be watching to see in this next, what do we got? 20 seconds to see if it goes above 2660s. If not, I can hammer down and add to the trade. Just got to be careful and make sure that we're back towards the 2630s. Looks good on that rejection. 1 second here on the 1 minute candle. There it goes. Now give it the chance to do this quick little up move, breakout to 2660s. If not, we should get an attempt back down towards the 2635. So we'll see what happens here. Slow down, and I'm going to look for the speed up here as it starts to move. Qs are trying to hold here, but could make a down move, which could help me. I'm watching the SPY. There's a down move in the SPY. I'm going to take a shot here in ASTS. All right, just added there, guys. Just added there. I got 2638, 200 shares. Looking for the breakdown here in ASTS. Let's see if we can get it. Seeing that breakdown in the SPY, definitely seeing some weakness out there in the SPY. So we'll be looking to see if SOXS goes right back to the top end here. XLF starting to come down there. Going to look at banks right now to see if those start to come down. Looking at Bank of America, that's coming down and was making an up move here. So just continuing to watch some of the bank action now as that starts to come down here. We'll see if all of a sudden the Qs just start to lift here. Nvidia is the one definitely to watch. I'm still looking for a breakdown there. Haven't seen it. MSOS is staying strong today. I'm going to keep a watch on that for the swing trade idea of potentially making a bigger trade in cannabis. We'll see what happens there. That needs to come back through 7. But watching right now to see if this ASTS can really give us that first win here, guys. I'm taking the shot. Now 32s are available to me. If I wanted to, I could add right here. But since this is the first trade, just trying to keep it simple here, trying to get that breakdown now. Don't want to see it back above VWAP, back above to 2650s. Got to be careful here. Looking for the move down towards 26 in the breakdown. So there's that attempted move back towards the upside here. Just got to be careful here. Back above the 60s, definitely got to get out. Q's just made a quick sweep back up, right? So that's what we're getting an attempt here. Quick sweep back up. So look at Nvidia. Look at the fake outs in Nvidia to the downside today. And now you're starting to recover. And what came back? Apple held that 227, trying to go to the upside. So Apple, one definitely to watch here. Ready to see what happens here in ASTS. Just need to see if it rejects this 2660s. Back above the 61, and I'll just get out. Here it goes. It's tempting here. It did spread out there towards like higher 60s, so I got to be careful here as it starts to push. And there's a nice rejection. So now I'm going to set it here towards the top end of that on the 60. So $60 of risk here on this one, guys. So it's still a little bit more, as that did a little bit of a blow off top, but I set it at the top here. If it comes down, it'll get me out. Back through that high, it also stops me out. So now I got the trade set here. Can watch this trade try to work and see what happens. So ASTS trade already set up here. Let's see what happens on it. We'll see what we can get on the reward side of this. Looking for a breakdown through the 26 here. They eventually come down a little bit lower. See if we can get this back down towards like 2570s. Looking for the breakdown right back down and looking for it to kind of hold here and not get back even towards the 2660s here. Q's though ripping, guys, to the upside. So that's a little bit of a swing there. Apple's the one that I like here. I'm already getting this lift already, so I'm looking at on my day trade account to see if I can get this and pullbacks to add at 227. So I'm looking for Apple on long. Come on, pull back a little bit, Apple. Would love a little pullback here in Apple. 2270s makes complete sense. 2250s, 2250s, 2250s. 227.50. That's where I'm going to be putting out my first order. Look to add at 227s on the downside action. Orders out there at the 50 spot there. Let's see if I can get a little bit further down and I'll add to it. Trying to take a long on Apple right now. See if this starts to make a move back to the upside here. The Qs are just on the upside, trying to make that break to the upside. SOXL is another way to play this for maybe that 34 pullback here. Doesn't look too bad there for that pullback opportunity here. We'll see what happens. Is this just a crazy wick? Definitely have an opportunity here on the long side. Apple, I do have that order out there. I'm going to probably cancel that order right now. I'm canceling it. It would have filled right now. So I'm looking at it right now to get that Apple right back towards that 227, maybe even below 227 here. Just keeping a very close eye on it. Got to go back to the other trade here. Just bouncing back and forth, guys. ASTS now into the green towards that 2620s here. So looking really good in that ASTS trade. All right, guys, now we're towards 2619s. Now I can go ahead and stop this break even, if not really small stop out. So I'm setting here a $14 stop out towards 46. So I set a $14 stop out there, looking for the reward now through the 26, right? Towards the 26, let's say 70s or 80s here. Right now, I'm setting it at 25.65 for a little bit of a bigger breakdown, but just looking at this ASTS trade, we'll see what happens there, guys. All right, going back to it, Apple. Let's see what happens. 227 did pull back there, held for a second there at the 227.06. Looking at the Qs and really looking at Nvidia, because Nvidia is going to be the one that I'm watching this break this hourly range. Like, it keeps hanging out in this hourly range. That's where we got to be a little bit careful. That's why I'm trying to be careful on this trade, not just jumping massive, because the truth is Nvidia is still chopping around on the hourly. All right, NVVE, whatever happened to that? It did pull back there. It's setting back up now, pulling back to the 750s. We'll see if it reloads there, but that came back down in a hurry. All right, we'll see what else the other ones are we see out there moving. LASE, this is going straight up, guys. What the heck happened in this one? Diversified Industrial going strong, holding the 9 EMA, really making an expansion move higher. What a move there, guys. Really crazy move there in LASE. And I don't know why this is up so big, but holy crap, that's a big boy. It's a big boy. A little part of me feels like at some point this is going to be a nice short opportunity. It's just a little extended to the upside, just a little bit, right? But you got to be careful shorting something like this. It's been a big, massive move. I'd look for the MACD to give me a sign, right? This still hasn't made an attempt towards that yellow line. Cross it, and then maybe I can get short. Right now, this thing's a monster. That's a monster move with some volume too. So pretty good move there. All right, looking around, guys, I'm seeing Nvidia just kind of holding in there, and a lot of this is what's going on. I honestly, not much. The Qs are playing games with us right now. So I'm taking a look at this to see if Qs go right back to the upside here. Apple still making sense there. Energy doing really well today, guys. XOM was the trade. I just missed it, team. This was on the playbook today, guys. And this is where it gets frustrating sometimes when we have something like the playbook. And even now I'm not listening to it. XOM, the first one on the playbook this morning. Should have been playing that one, guys. Back to it. Back to it, guys. My camera, let's go to it. Let's get back to the market. XOM, really nice move there in oil today. So if you were able to catch that, hey, power to you guys. That could have been a nice trade. What's up with the VIXI? VIXI tried to make an attempt towards the 1170s here, but really didn't get going. So just keeping a very close eye on it right now, guys. All right, going to that other account there. I'm in the 26. Did bounce there just for a second at ASTS. So just kind of keeping a very close eye on it. We did get into the green there. It went to the 2650s here. Could pull back right now. Q's trying to go higher here, so just got to be careful. Just watching that this doesn't get back into the 2640s. Looking at the Qs themselves, they're just chomping around right now. So I think we got to be on the patience, just on the sideline here until like 10:30. That's what I'm going to try to do. And then I'll take some bigger trades towards 10:30. But just trying to set this up here. And then also right now, at least for sure on the way that the action is, it's choppy right now. So I'm trying to get this through. All right, 2630s. Let's see if this rejects the 35, 36 range again and goes right back down through the 26. Good short here in ASTS. At least I like the pattern. I like the way the trade is going. Just got to wait and see if I get the reward now. Let's go, guys. Let's see what can happen. This is on that new limited account, right? So trying to get after it. KAVL. Let's go, guys. I see you guys getting after that one. Spread widening out. Got to be careful here as this is starting to come back a little bit. And the spread is what's causing this. All right, just rejected that 40 again here. So back above the VWAP. We got to get out of here. So I think it looks good here for the breakdown. Would like to see it break through that 26, and then I can maybe even add on that. Looking to see the breakdown now happen. And at that point, when it goes to 26, I'll keep it break even here and make sure that I don't lose a single penny moving forward. So at this point, it's like break it or I'm getting out of this anyways on the upside action. So got to be careful here. Nvidia is still trying to hold that. Apple's still trying to hold that 227. It's just a battle right now. What's going to happen? Find out, team. Find out. Stick around. 33 is now starting to come back down on that ASTS. So it's a battle right here. It's definitely a little bit of a mixed noise here. Not trying to show my hand, so I don't have to stop out right now, but watching it really closely here on ASTS. Q's now trying to make that up move, and so is Nvidia. So I'm watching Nvidia to lead. Watching Nvidia to lead that market today. There's a move down there in ASTS back towards the 2630. So it's trying to break it down here. Just can't right now. See, we go back towards the 2620s here and finally break down. There's 2630s. Let's see it. Come on. Let's get a move back through that 2620s here. 2626 availability is right there. Let's see what happens now. Looking for 2620s to show up on the bid here. I want to see some fills at that 2620s. This is holding up pretty well here. Looking for the breakdown through that level, the 2620s. But for right now, it's holding up. Has made about 3 attempts to go through there. So this is that attempt that I'm looking for the real wash down. If not, going to go ahead and just get out. There's the Qs trying to make a move back down here as Nvidia rejects the move to the upside. So definitely mixed noise out there. Here's that attempt towards 2620s. Now the bid is dropping there. Now we're getting that action. We're looking good here. There we go. Looking good as we go to the 23s here. Still setting the stop at like 16 to give myself a little bit of range help, but really looking for the breakdown now through that 2620s. Let's see if it happens here. It's looking good here for the first trade. Just needs to give you that move down towards the 30s there. I'm going to take off the target profit one. Taking off both here. I just took off the stop there also. Now it starts to bounce. That's where you got to be a little bit careful. Definitely don't, at this point, it should break through the 2620s for me. So I'm just giving it a chance here, but it should break down here. Don't want to risk much on this now. It's at the point where it's either going to work in my favor or not. So I'm ready to cut this out if needed. Nvidia going back through the lows, Apple back below 227. So if I want to bet to the upside, I got that opportunity now. But the Qs haven't given me the signs on breaking any direction. I don't want to just go ahead and trade for no reason. And that's what I see right now. ASTS still trying to make a comeback right back through my level, guys. So at this point, I'm about to break even out. Yep. Here you go, guys. I'm about to get out here. Just got out there, guys. $5 loss there in ASTS. And the reason why is that I got that attempt to break through the 2620s, and that should have been the move right there. So at this point, I could either go for a breakdown attempt through that 2620s and still short the 2620s, risking off the 2635s, or stay in the trade and watch this go to 2660s and take a real loss. On this smaller account, I'm not trying to push it. So right there, I just got out there. It could have been break even, but I just decided, you know what? Not trying to push it so much. Just get out on a very tiny loss, and then I can come back in on ASTS. Look at Nvidia right back up there. So the Qs are just playing around here, guys, and that's the problem, even with Apple. So VIXI right now, I'm looking at it, it's starting to make a down move attempt, but the Qs just keep chomping around. And so that chomp activity is what's getting me chopped out, right? ASTS still just rejected that move towards the 2650s, but definitely it's on the slowdown here. But the only problem is that it could kind of get right back up there. So I might get back into this. So I'm just keeping a very close eye on it. If I went back after it, I would come after it with the 200 shares still. You just got to be quick on that reaction. That's the problem now. Q's making an upside approach now. Doxal could make a push to the upside. I think we're in that kind of mixed noise right now. The only question is, which way do you want to take the trade? Even Apple up this 227 makes sense, but could reject. It's below VWAP. I think Nvidia is the one to watch here on the hourly. What happens on Nvidia's hourly? Does it reject here off the 116.80s? ASTS just rejected there, and now it's right back into that area where it could just break down. So just watching it here to maybe take a 10-cent risk. It still get after it here. It's just mixed noise in the Qs and the SPY. That's the problem right now, that we're getting this back and forth and no directions chosen. Tesla pulling back now. Now we're back into the 30s here for the Qs and ASTS. Just doesn't want to go anywhere, man. Now it's starting to go towards that 26, 28. So just would like the little bounce back on the bid, and then I can get after it here, but it just might wash. The truth is, if the Qs were going down here and the SPY was going down, I would just jump in right now. It's a lot of mix. A lot of chop right back and forth right now, guys. Pakar still doing well there on the swing. Still no trade on my other account. Apple now 2650s on the downside. Look how ASTS comes right back. So it's just mixed noise, guys. Mix. Look at the Qs. It's just chomping around. Nvidia just chomping around, not making the move. So until Nvidia breaks this on the hourly, it makes sense to be on the side long. All right, what's up out there, guys? LASE, you shorted at 15s. All right, power to you, man. This is an absolute monster of a stock. Got up there 16. It definitely got extended away from the VWAP 1, 2, 3 times. Could go up one more time, I feel like. Maybe a move here towards like 16 and then the rejection back down seems to me like the area to watch for, but that's just me. I'll see what happens there on LASE. You could also see when it finally crossed right here at this like 15. So I'd like to see it go up to the upside of 16 and fail. What I'm going to do is I'm going to set an alert on this. All right, 1570s. I set the alert just to let me know. Oh do it a little bit lower. 1560s. Let me know there, and then I'll start looking at this one. You guys kept talking about KAVL. That's the tobacco one. It's had about what? 1, 2, 3 halts, and then comes on a downside halt. So just not for me, guys. Now it looks like downside, but I'm not touching this. ESTS still just chomping around out there, guys. So this is a really hard trade right now. And it's just going sideways. So glad I got out of that because it's not doing anything that I need to do right now. VIXI trying to make a move to the downside. That's one thing I see here. But it's not big volume. It's not the move that I'm looking for, right? So right now, we're just looking around. And why? Because Nvidia is still not going anywhere, team. Until Nvidia goes somewhere, I'm staying on the sideline. Tesla is strong right now, still at the 247s. Anything red in the last hour? Let's go ahead. Let's take a look at the last hour. Leading the last hour, you got defensives. XLP, right? XLP was on my radar here, guys. It's had a nice lift towards 82.75s. Could start making a recovery on the daily off that 82.50s. So it doesn't look too bad here to make an attempt on the swing trade action. So I'm going to do that on the swing. All right, let's see what happens here. I don't even think I can get 300 with the swing account. That's the problem with this one, is that I need to actually go for a name in XLP. KVU doing well. Let's take a look at Clorox. Clorox doing well there. Procter & Gamble on the pullback. Doesn't look too bad there on Procter & Gamble. I'm looking around to see what I go after here. They slaughter. Kraft Heinz. Kraft Heinz coming off the bottom there. XLP still going higher. TSN. Not seeing too much, man. Not seeing too much I want. Even XLP, the problem is I can't get so much. I can only get like a small amount there. Let's see what the top is I can get. Yeah, I can't even get 300, so I would need like 200 maybe. So I'll be watching it. It makes sense, but more like maybe on the day trade. All right, going back to the smaller account here, the limited. If you guys didn't find out and you guys are just tuning in right now, maybe you guys are tuning in on Twitter. Hey, take a look, guys. We got a brand new limited account, 1350. That's all you need in a 30-second hold. 70-30 split, guys. You're not getting this anywhere else in the industry. So take a look at the action, guys, and take a look at our limited right here. Limited, guys. Take a look. Go to the website and take a look at that action, guys. It's really something that I think nobody should be missing out on. Our limited edition buying power action. Take a look, guys. This will get you right over to that, guys. So definitely, if you're not looking already, hit the link in the chat. Go take a look at it, guys, and see what you can do. Poet, who's a poet out there? Maybe the poet stock will make a move here. We'll see what happens. There's ASTS back towards 2630, so that one's actually making an up move there. Poet back to 350s here. Doesn't look too bad. It's pulled back there. Could take a move at any point. It's just slow, slow, slow. The problem with this one is the volume has died. Like literally just died. So we'll see what happens on that one. LASE now coming back down. Went up there to the 1550s, but rejected it fast. It's at the 14. We'll see what happens on that. Q's now making a down attempt here. We'll see if we start to get some breakdown there. SOXS now starting to push there as it holds the VWAP. Could break 23s, so if there's a scalp opportunity, this is like kind of that scalp right there. So we'll see what happens on the VIXI now. Can the VIXI actually make a move? Will Nvidia break down here? I'm going to go for a VIXI scalp here in the new account. Talked about how that could be the trade that I just take consistently. So I will take this right here off the bottom. I'm going to take a shot here. Which account is this? All right, just got to make sure it's the new account. There's the new account. Looking right now to see if Nvidia can break down. That's really the one that I'm looking for. It still hasn't broken down. It's made a fake out to the downside, and so did the Qs. So I think that I just got to wait, man. Nvidia is going to tell me something if I wait. If I react too quickly, I'm just wasting money. So I'm trying to wait on the sideline here to take the shots, guys. Still nothing, guys. Still nothing. The Q's now making an up attempt here. So this is what I mean, that like you're getting this back and forth, right? So SPY trying to make an upside break. Energy, man. XOM was the move, guys. Look at that takeoff, guys. Nice little 2%. Nvidia. What are you going to do, man? Just chomping around out there, guys. Poet, not moving, man. Last, now down to 13s. ASPI holding that pullback. Maybe that one can go. That's a chemical name. Valet. Looking at that for a potential swing trade, but nothing that I like right now on that. Man, the cruise lines have been hot as of late. Cruise lines are hot, team. Trying to make an up move there. I know the Airbnb has lately been getting a little bounce. What about the airlines? The airlines not looking good this morning. Good Lord, the chop continues out there, guys. Look at the hourly on Nvidia. It is ridiculous, this chop. Like, don't waste money, guys. If stocks aren't moving, don't waste it. I'm waiting for the move, guys. StoxS now starting to take off there, so that could actually start to get the move, start to get some action there. All right, Nvidia, you want to come down? We'll take a shot here. All right, guys, I'm going to take one shot here on the new account. It's all about Nvidia, man. Nvidia is just slowed up. Can the chomp continue? Seems like it right now. All right, there's that first attempt, guys. I'm going to take the shot here. Boom, long the VIXI here, guys. 500 shares here. Could add to this, right? But I need to see this start to get to the green. Let's say if it starts to get towards 1175s, I might take the shot to add. Move my stop to VWAP, and then start to make this really start going. So taking an attempted here, 500 shares on that limited account, right? So taking the shot at this, guys, we'll see what happens. Now we'll look to see if the Qs break down. I can also go looking in my other account to see if maybe the market just does this whipsaw up. If it whipsaws up, I can go long on Apple here. So I have 2 trades available to me here and just need to go and get after it now. We'll see what happens here. Really looking at Nvidia to give me the sign. Nvidia made the attempt to the downside break there. And that's why I'm going for the short side of things right now, because Nvidia is on that downside move. If it comes whipping back to 116.75, then you got to look for that upside move. We'll see what happens here. AMD could be coming down with Nvidia right now. It's making all types of moves. Now could start the breakdown. So looking to see what happens. I'm watching the Qs really, because the Qs need to break the hourly range. The hourly range is right now on both sides. It could hold here, and you see this trend line here that it can come to 482s. So now I just need to see the Qs make a move, because the Qs aren't doing anything right now. And wouldn't you know it, Nvidia already starting to come back. So you just got to be careful on both sides of this trade, because right now it just seems like it's just trying to get you to waste money, right? We have a low on the VIXI of 11.57s today. So can go ahead and use that low to see this kind of hold off. Really looking for this to start holding the 1160 pullback. So maybe it hits 1160 here, holds that, and then starts to move back towards the upside. So we'll see what happens here. Taking the shot in the smaller limited account. Brand new, guys. Watching to see what happens in Nvidia. Some of the banks making an upside approach here. Yeah, some of the banks trying to hang in there. ESTS still holding in. Looking around on the streets, seeing what they're talking about. Oh, nuclear stocks going bananas? Oh. Who's been talking about nuclear stocks? NNE, of course. Look at the pullback today. Oh, did I miss the 12 entry? I talked about 12 being that pullback. Look at NNE, SMR. Those are the names to look at, guys. Who's been talking about nuclear before it showed up on the media? Right here on Trade the Pool. You can't get better than that, guys. There was no one talking about this trade. Now they're all talking about it. Look in the streets. Apple ramping right back up here, guys. So just got to be careful out there. Just taking a look at the Qs coming right back up and starting to ramp here, guys. So will Nvidia make a comeback there? Apple staying strong, just recovered at 227. So that's the bet to the upside that it makes sense for me on this Q move to the upside. In a second there, going to set a stop there on the VIXI to see what happens there. But definitely getting a little bit more of a hit right now in that account. So I'm going to go ahead and set the stop here at the 1154. $45 of risk on that new account. We'll take a shot there to see what happens. If I get cut here. I'm going to go ahead and switch over to my other day trade account, see what I can do with Apple here. I'm taking a look at Apple. Q's just chopping around, man. The Q's, man. The chop is ridiculous today, guys. It's just trying to just chop everybody up. This hour range is just ridiculous, guys. It just doesn't want to go anywhere. So maybe the smaller names are the only way to trade today, seems like right now. LASE, we'll see what happens on that one. Holding in on the 14s. Now it's made 1, 2. Is that 3 attempts below the VWAP? No, pretty much 1. I would give it like one more attempt, but it's starting to look like it wants to make its way back on LASE. Still sideways right now. UXIN, we'll see what happens on that one. Truck dealership stock made a big move there. Poet still holding on that 350s. Volume come back yet? Nope. No volume on that Poet yet. NVVE, we'll look to see what happens there. All right, guys, still seeing a little bit of some shake out there. Just the choppy actions, just what's going on out there, guys. Choppy action out there today. Q's making that attempt to the upside here. Going to probably get me stopped out in the limited account. We'll see what happens. Apple making that attempted to the upside break, and 227 was the level that I was looking at earlier. It went down all the way down to 226.25s, then reversed right back up. So looking to see if it starts to hold that 227 level. This could be a nice little pullback area to bed off of, but just taking a look at it. Holy choppy moments, man. Nvidia is just on the super chop. It's ridiculous, guys. On a regular day, guys, if I wasn't doing a show, I'd probably already leave, because this is just it gets to a point where it's just trying to waste money, right? That's what it's trying to do. It's trying to get you to waste money right now. And I literally did it on the VIXI. Now the Q's making up attempt. Question, can it hold here? Apple leading tells me that yes, it wants to make that move, right? So then now I'd look for a quick pullback on Apple. I just can't play it up here at 228. SPY trying to make the move now. Tesla trying to reload. Just got stopped out in that smaller limited account, taking a $61 hit today. Done with that account today, guys. I don't want to push it too much on that account today. Of course, 300 would be the top. Trying to lose around the $35 to $50 on the hit there. Took the shot there for the $50 hit. Took the ASTS. Maybe could have taken like $20 or $30 profits. But if I would have stayed into that ASTS, what would have happened? Would have got stopped out, right? It's the Q's coming right back up. Super choppy entries today. Super chop out there, guys. This is one of those days where really I don't think there's many people winning unless you're trading like maybe oil to the upside, which had a little bit stronger move. Everything else was choppy action. So now I wanted to take a look to see what happens if we get continuation, but it could still just play in the chop. And that just goes to show me, guys, we need to be careful on how we're spending that money early. What about yin for a swing? It's interesting, Steph. I've thought about it in the past. It's just what the hell would happen in China, right? I mean, we're seeing negative, but look at the action lately in China large cap. It's just coming back, guys. I know that everyone's betting on China having a horrible 2025, but that might actually be the move to maybe bet against. Michael Berry, famous Big Short, is actually going super long on China. And you're seeing JD strong today, Baba strong today. Yin is up big towards 25.70s. When we were trading this was back down at 22s. Of course, I feel like this is a little bit extended now, so you need a little bit of a pullback, but these are names to look at. PDD was recently in mentions of maybe getting like affected by the Temu block, right? That's another thing to think about, though. There's still a lot of battle in China with the US, so it's very hard to do the China trade, but it's something that even I've thought about it. That's why I was talking about the rate cuts this morning, Steph, or Steven. I'm honestly, is it Steven or Stephanie? I honestly don't know. I think it's Steven, but maybe I'm getting it twisted. Maybe getting a little confused with all the action today. Let's see what happens here. LAS back at 14, something to watch for right now in the smaller name. This actually doesn't look too bad as it starts to bottom here at the 14s. Let's see if it makes another run here Doesn't look too bad to maybe take a little bit of a day trade in. I kind of like it here, guys. We'll see what happens if it starts to get the push. Doesn't look too bad off this 1375s for it to kind of make that little turnaround right back up. We'll see what happens there in LASE. And wouldn't you know it, the chop continues, the Q's right back down, right? So Apple giving you that opportunity, maybe back towards 227. Man, it's choppy out there today. Nvidia now trying to make a downward attempt there, and the VIXI could have maybe got me at the bottom there. We'll see what happens if it starts to make its move back up. I could still take a trade on this account on the VIXI to the upside. I've already gotten out on the other one, but hey, that's how it goes sometimes. XL left above VWAP could be a fade after this starts to get hit, but man, there's not much right now, guys. With the Qs and the SPY so tamed, when this had been such a big move, it just tells me that we got to be careful here. There's going to be a whipsaw move at some point today, and I have to wait to use my money. And I have a lot of money to use in the day trading account, right? The extra buying power account. And right now, I'm on the sideline because there's no action that really points to me that we have a strong trend. Nvidia could still wipe out on the downside and start dragging the market. So look at Nvidia, right? It's on the hourly, but where has it gone on the hourly? Nowhere. It's freaking annoying, man. A little part of me feels like shorting Nvidia just because it keeps doing this. I'm like, well, at least I know 117. If it goes back to 117, it's like breakout, but holy choppy markets on Nvidia. That's really where it is. It's like the chop is right here. Lassie could come down towards the 1250s or could catch another move towards the upside there. See what happens on this one. Let's go take a look right quick. All right, there you guys see it. We'll see if it starts to make the move back up towards the upside here. Risk right now off the 70s here. We'll look to see if Last gets a little bit of some buying to step up here. There it is. There's the 14 buy. It was right here on the bottom. You guys saw this 1402. That seemed like the area where it was starting to get hot there. Now it could keep going here in the 1440s. The setup is there. We'll see if it starts to make the push now. LASE trying to push there. The market is just choppy chop, man. Holy molies. I haven't seen the market chop like this in a long time. And then what does this do, guys? This just wastes money. This is just a waste of money, guys. Look at the 1 minute. The chop is ridiculous. If you look at the 15 minute, the stocks haven't gone anywhere. Do they look strong to the upside? On the 15 minute, still looking like it's holding 483s. But when it pulls back like that, it's just wicks. And wicks can be tricks, whichever way it's looking like. So I think right now you just keep your eyes on the hourly. Hourly levels are telling us that we're still in this kind of trend. And we could make a hard down move back to 482. Last just gave it up. So that's just how it goes, guys. Look at that. Gave it up real quick. It's a choppy chop day out there, guys. You guys play it safe. Seems like I know traders are probably getting stomped all around. AG back at 630s. Starting to make the up move in silver. We'll look to see if it keeps moving. GOLD up there towards 2064s also. Man, what a day of chop out there, guys. Standard Lithium making a little bit of a lift there. Looking around at the metals and minerals. Is it finally time to see some lithium start to make a move to the upside? No way. LAC swing, maybe? I don't know, man. What about SQM? It's holding a little bit, man. I want to take a longer term investment on something like this. This looks good. I need to go looking in the investment account. I'm going to keep a close eye on this SQM going into next year. All right, what's up out there, guys? What are you guys taking a look at? Went long at 94. Okay, on the MU. There you go. MU's looking a lot better than a lot of the market. I'll tell you that much. Holy slowdowns in the queues, man. It's just ridiculous now. When you're trading like this, man, it's almost like, yeah, who's winning? The computers are winning today, man. I almost feel like just playing some video games on a day like today. It's just one of those days where the market is just chomping people around, taking your volume, taking your trades. And these are the type of days where you're not really getting a move. You're getting fakes. Fakes even to the upside. It's even getting the move up, but it's just not a real breakout. So very hard to play that. SMCI having a nice little pop there towards 480s, but now sideways. ASTST now back down to 2650s. Look at the chop out there, guys. The chop is just, it's actually pretty hard right now. Wow. Coffee time. Because we need it today, man. Holy moly. The chop continues out there, man. Just nothing wanting to move. This is the day where they just pound you to sleep. And then they make the move after lunch. Watch out, team. Watch out. Talk about lull you to sleep. Even Tesla, that had like really good momentum out the gates, it's going up right now. You can see it on the hourly, right, straight up. But look on the 1 minute and the recent action. Ever since pretty much 9:45, sideways. It's just chopping the traders in and out, making you spend money because you think you're getting a move. The only way to trade right now, it seems like in a range. Trading that range is what's making sense. This is chop, chop, choppity, chop, chop, chop. It's almost like I'm at Pollo Tropical. You guys just giving me some chop chop out here. No one asked for it. This market right now is the chicken at Chipotle. Chopped up. Watch out there. What's going on in Chipotle? Let's go take a look into the market, see themes at least. Chipotle has been coming back. Okay, starting to hold here. At some point, Chipotle is coming back. What about Starbucks? New CEO. They're not liking you today. Victoria's Secret. At some point, we're going to make money on that again. Wait till the recession concerns come back in, guys. Ooh, do I go shorting Macy's already? It looks interesting for me. What about my Mondelez trade and my kind of October trade, my Halloween trade? I made it up to 76. Starting to reverse a little bit now. Hershey's was another one that I talked about. It could play catch up. Ooh, maybe this is setting up now for the 200 move. Hershey's going into Halloween? All right, maybe Hershey's. Everybody was kung fu fighting. Hi-ya! Let's get it, day trade, Tony. Tony, where's the small ones at? Are those moving at least? You bottom fishing out there? shorted that Lassie at 15.12. You should be killing it on that. And the Qs come right back down. Look at the VIXI waking up, guys. Got stopped out in the smaller account here, but thinking about taking the trade in the bigger account here. Now, as we start to get the lift into the 1170s, will we finally get a breakdown in Nvidia? That is the signal, and we've been waiting for it. Now we're finally getting a move towards the downside action in Nvidia. Can it wipe it out? That's what I'm waiting for, guys. Then the VIXI can start making a bigger move, right? And even I'm thinking about taking a swing trade in the VIXI to make this move to go back towards like kind of 12 and stuff like that. It's not a bad outlook. Right now, the only thing that keeps me in not shorting the market and going long on the VIXI is Apple. It's staying at that 228. It doesn't want to go back to 227. Why? Because this is a nice daily recovery on the trend line. So swing trade on Apple to the upside makes sense right now. At the risk off 226, but just thinking about that, right? So it's about $2 of risk here for the move to go back towards 232, which is $4 to the upside. So if you feel Apple is going to make a new high in this end of the year, you have a trade opportunity, right? That's that trend line buy, what we call a throwback look, where you're going to move above the trend line and then a pullback to the trend line. So the opportunity is there. Now the question is, do you want to take that trade? That's what you need to be thinking about. Apple did pull back fast, and it was mainly at the end of the market. So we'll see what happens here. Whew. What a mixed type of day. And the Qs slow down as soon as they go down on the downside. And just don't do anything, man. It's ridiculous. On the 5-minute, you can even see it more and more. But man, oh man, the wicking action today. Look at this, guys. It's just like, I don't want to go anywhere. Look at that, guys. Look at the wicks on the bottom. Look at the wicks on the top. It's as present as can be right now. So until this breaks in whichever direction it wants to go, is it to the downside here, to the upside? Like, we need to wait, because the truth is we're just overreacting to smaller moves and thinking that we're getting breakdowns, thinking that we're getting breakouts, and wasting money. That's the number one thing we can't be doing as traders. Also, is just spending money for no reason. BADR, I think it was. It's not even on the screen anymore. All right, let's go looking at the scanners, see what else is out there, guys. We'll be wrapping up around 10:50-ish, 10:11 here as we start to wrap it up here. Looking around to see what's moving in the market right now, seeing if any of these smaller names are making a move or big move down also. That's another way to go about it. TGL is a move to the downside where the move has pulled back a significant amount. This has gotten above $1. This came from 70 cents. So could start to break down here as it's tried to make the move above the $1 multiple times. 1, 2, 3, 4, and just reverse back towards the upside and then failed that attempt. I'm looking at it right now to see if it holds right here, makes an attempt through that 130, or will it just come crashing right back down towards the $1? So a smaller name, right, to take a look at, but thinking about it in a sense that it does have a pattern to maybe come after here. Let's take a look at the daily chart here on Treasure Global. It doesn't hold moves too often here, so could easily go back down to 60 cents. Interesting TGL here. We'll see if it makes the move. It's trying to push there towards the 130s. Can it make the move to go higher above the 141s here, or really just reject the 130 and come down towards $1? That's the way I see it. But hey, to each his own. This thing has gotten 1 or 2 halts. So who knows? Maybe it wakes up and makes that 150 run here. You have potential as it keeps holding the 15.9 EMA around the 119 level. It's kind of like a cup and handle pattern trying to go higher. But of course, if it fails this, it could come right back down. You got both sides of it right there as TGL. KAVL, taking a look at that tobacco one as it comes right back down. through that 150, has made attempts to the upside. 1, 2, 3, 3 holds, right? 1, 2, 3 holds on the upside, 1 hole on the downside, back to the upside hole, then downside hole, downside hole. So now we've had 2 downside holds recently. This is just ridiculous. We'll see what happens out there. All right, you opened the new limited mini. See how it goes? Same way I feel day trade, Tony. I got a little loss today on the first one, which was a VIXY trade. But, you know, I just tried it, right? 61 down. Not going to stress too much. It's got 900, and we'll keep battling here. All right, let's see what else is out there. The Q is just chomping up a little bit more, man. It just doesn't want to let me even trade, guys. If it doesn't break the range, there's really no point in me taking so many trades. NNE up there towards $15 today, guys. Definitely missed out on that one. The nuclear trade, guys. You'll see everyone talking about it now. And don't forget, tell them when you heard it first. Do me the favor, guys. If there's anything I ask for you guys, tell them when you hear the nuclear trade mentioned that you heard it right here on Trade the Pool. So just tag us or tag me at MoneyMitch_TTP. I'll go in there. I'll let them know we've been talking about this for a while. I can even clip it. I can clip it way back when I first put NNE. We can take a look at it. All right, 1450s on NNE. SMR is definitely one to kind of keep an eye out for also. That's continuing. Pulled back today. Didn't even want to go back to the $10. Up there towards the 1150. And when you start to hear Amazon mention names of nuclear, you already know, guys. We got to keep an eye out on this. It's not a bad area to kind of watch. Apple holding and going against the market here. Now ripping to the upside, yet Nvidia is going to the downside here. And then the Qs are holding in here. Why are they holding in? Tesla, Apple are some strong names to the upside here. Let's take a look at Microsoft. Can Microsoft make a move here and Nvidia go down, yet the market lift? That's one thing that I'm very closely watching here. Micron has also been strong here. MU, right? Take a look to see what happens on that one. Sorry for the bad input there. But looking to see if this one can go back through the 9450s. And you can take a look at some different names to see what happens on that. SMMT actually on the downside break here today, guys. Starting to break down, showing on the down scanners here. So that's one thing to definitely take a look at. LUNR, another one that broke down. I was looking at potential shorts. This one never came back to the VWAP for me, so never got the opportunity to get that short. Maybe around the 945s, the 880s attempt would have been a nice one. On this LUNR. It went down there to 815 today. So I'd keep an eye out on this one because this one could be coming back down towards 6. Like pops back towards 850s and 9 to definitely get short on LUNR. We'll see what happens there. All right, taking a look around. See what other ones are making a move here. BHVN recently got up there to the 50s, has been up there multiple times, but now starting to fade off. This is a bigger price name. It's now starting to reject. It's a biotech and starting to fade on the downside here. We'll see if it can get another move to the upside, but definitely an interesting name that is moving around. Wouldn't you know it, the Q is starting to come back to the upside, even with Nvidia on the downside break, right? And so looking to see what happens there. Will AMD make an upside approach? Apple, right now, kind of leading the party. Meta has an event this week. When is the Meta event? Let me just confirm that. The Quest event. All right, so the Meta Horizon, I think it's called. Looking at the Meta event. All right, so looks like it's the Connect 2024 event. Yeah, 2-day event starts on the 25th. So starts in 2 days on Wednesday. So you could see Meta actually lift off of that. So today, if the market wants to go to the upside, why not take a bet on Meta? So I've got 1, 2, 3 times attempts to go through the VWAP. I'd look for one more attempt to break down here, maybe go to the 569, but hold these lows here, this 568.36. Daily pattern already has the run. run into events. We talk about this all the time. Same thing in Tesla, the run into the event, right? Once the event happens, a lot of the time it's a sell the news type of event, right? So take a look out there, guys. It's been a great day for you guys out there. Definitely for me, it's been kind of a little bit of a mixed noise type of day. Not much going on, guys. We'll probably wrap it up here in just a second here, but just taking a look at different trades out there that are available to us. We'll see if Meta can make another move here towards the 574. Just continue the trend of continuing to climb, and there it is towards the 570. So let's see if we get the move back to the upside. Q's still on the chomp, 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 chomp. Look at this pattern, guys. It's ridiculous how it wants to go but doesn't go. And so just keep your eyes on that. Nothing moving right now, and definitely mixed noise in the market today. All right, man, it just seems like it's going to be a no trade day, at least on this account. And you know how that goes, guys. I want to take some trades, but the truth is, if it ain't there, it ain't there, guys. And right now, the VIX is just back and forth. Hasn't made the real attempt to move to break out or break down. I haven't gotten anything in the SPY. It's now 10:50. Me taking trades now is just asking for a recipe of disasters, because I can't trade the whole day, guys. I actually have a meeting at 11:30. I'm not going to be able to focus on the market. I'm not going to be able to take bigger trades or anything like that. So at this point, I either got to take some swings here or take some attempts to the upside here as the Qs try to make the move to the upside here. There's no guarantee that it's going to it, but it's trying again, right? Now the only question is what will happen. 1, 2, 3, 4 times attempts to try to break down the Qs. Tried to break down. Now could make the up move. Some could say that it's now doing it. So I'd take a look at Microsoft. I'd take a look to see if Nvidia can reverse back to the upside. AMD, can that lead back to the upside too? Micron, can that get towards the 9450s? It was been there a couple of times. Now trying to make the move. Can't do it right now. Apple's leading the action to the upside. If there's one stock that's leading, I would say it's Apple. I'd be keeping a very close eye on that to see if it keeps pushing. Meta, of course, I just talked about the trade there that is available to you. We'll look to see if we get that little pullback action, let's say back towards the 569s, and then that makes the move. But overall, definitely seeing some choppy action in the market. Tesla making the move to the upside, so finally breaking that, going towards the 250s. That wasn't a bad attempt either on the day. We'll see what happens there in Tesla. But definitely NNE continuing, guys. It seems like NNE, the nuclear plays, was where it was at again. So keep your eyes on that action. And just for its sake, let's take a look at URA, right, which is one that we were looking at, and UEC that we were putting at on the playbook just today. It did make a nice lift to 590s, could go to 6. I'd keep an eye out to see if this could break out above 6 and start making its way to 7. One definitely to watch there. And silver making a little bit of a push, trying to get towards the 630s. All right, team, that's going to probably do it for me today, guys. I'm seeing the action, but not much out there. Definitely mixed noise. Q's trying to make the move, but still hasn't even broken out. Just goes to show you guys that you got to be careful, and you got to try to trade some names that are continuing a trend. Now Micron's coming back there. Nvidia is still just chomping around here. It did do an attempt to the support, broke it, then bounced right back. So definitely nowhere is Nvidia moving, right? It's now starting to get tightened down on the ATR. So the ATR is coming down. So this is slowly but surely not being the move that I see continuing the move to the upside. If anything, I see downside bets on Nvidia slowly but surely working into the market. So I wouldn't feel good about Nvidia moving forward, but that's just how I'm looking at it in a long-term chart. Apple, I actually feel more strongly about than I do for Nvidia to see an attempted upside break. We'll see what happens there in Apple, up there towards almost 229s now, when we could have got it at 227. So we'll see what happens there. Definitely a little bit of a shake in the market today, and not much trend. Even the VIXI that I would love to trade, right? You guys know how I love to trade the VIXI. It's not moving anywhere, right? I did trade it on the small limited edition account. So if you guys are taking a look into the limited edition account, take a look, guys. I took a shot today, lost about 61, but going to keep getting after it. And of course, what account are we talking about? Well, take a look into it. Of course, go on Trade the Pool. And here's just an image to tell you guys a little bit more about it, right? It's 20,000 in buying power, $97 only does the package cost, and you got to get a profit target of 1350s. You can hold up to just 30 seconds. You don't need to hold past towards the normal 60 seconds. And this is where the real gold is given to you guys. This is a 70-30 split versus a 50-50. Massive. If you guys are trying to make profits, actually get the funded account and withdraw. Well, this is one way to definitely make some money. At 70-30, there's a good split there. That's still giving you a good cushion and a good chunk there with that 70%. Hey, smash the like, guys. I hope you guys enjoyed. Get those new accounts. Get after it, guys. They're not going to be around forever. So if you haven't checked it out already, definitely take a look into it, guys. We'll see what happens there. More profit for yourself in the limited edition. We'll see what happens there in the market today. And boy, oh boy, it's the chop continues out there in the market. Just seems like it really just wants to go nowhere, man. This was a day where it's like I did well because I stayed on the sideline. But boy, oh boy, was it hard to stay on the sideline today. Took about pretty much 2 trades during the whole show. And normally, you guys know, I take a lot more trades than that. There just wasn't many opportunities, right? Still got that 10-cent stop out in the VIXI. Got out on pretty much break even on that ASTS. But would have taken a loss if I would stayed in it, right? And now look at ASTS. There's the move down in ASTS. It just took a little while. Took a little while to play out. It went back towards the resistance, the hourly resistance, and now taking the takedown. We'll see what happens here. Could scalp this. This is one way to go about it. Could go to the other day trade account, try to scalp this to the downside through the 26. It's just been on a leak now, so maybe bounces to the 9 EMA. Makes sense. We'll see what happens there on that ASTS. And that tells me maybe Lunar to the downside a little bit further. We'll see what happens there. All right, guys, it just wasn't the day today. LASE was one of the biggest movers. That's actually starting to move back here, trying to recover the VWAP. We'll see if that actually makes a move. Nothing that makes me feel confident to go ahead and take a shot on that. And now we're continuing to watch some different names. SUUN, I see moving right now. A utility name. Nothing that, looks sexy out there. And the Q's trying to make the move to the upside, but boy, oh boy, did they just test us today. It's one of those days where if you knew that the market was going to do this, you would not even watch the first 2 hours. Now it could just rise and continue to lift. And why does it do that? Because it just literally stopped you out enough to now that the bigger traders are going to go probably and go to lunch. This could play a little bit more chop, but this is why I always say you got to know the good lunch spots on Wall Street, because today is going to be one of those days where I need to know what those traders are looking at. I need to see what they're looking at in the afternoon, because around 1 or 2, we could get a strong trend. But right now, I still see the chop continuing. And I don't see that continuation to the upside right now. I see more chop. And so that's where it gets very difficult. Nvidia trying to come back. That's the one stock I'd give you guys a big watch on, but it's done nothing for me today. And AMD could be right back to 157 or could go through 155. Really is day like today. And look at SOXS. Look at the chop that happened in this. At any point, it could take off or SOXL could take off, but it's just choppy trading right now. So I'll say stay on the sideline, be careful, at least for me. That's what I'm doing. And you guys know I love to trade, love to take bets. Today, it's not one of them. I'm just going to stay on the sideline team, protect myself, and keep myself some ammo for later in the week. We should start to see a trend. And that's what we're looking for. If there is no trend, we're wasting money. And that's the number one thing that retail traders do all the time. They overtrade in the wrong moments and undertrade in the right ones. So I'll stay on the sideline and I'll see you guys back tomorrow morning, 8:30. Don't miss it, team. Let's keep building together. Tell everybody, hit the share button for me. I want to see some more tweets mentioning this stream. If you guys want to keep me going, keep me 100% free right here every single day The number one way you guys can support us is hit that like and hit the share. We'll keep it going right here. Trade the pool, guys. Today, not much in the pool, man. You know who's winning that pool today? This is the Citadel. That's how I call them. Citadel, some people call them. But we'll see what happens out there. Definitely payment for order flow, as today is one of those days where they make the money on you. And how do they make the money? They just chop you up left and sideways. We'll see eventually if the market determines a direction. All right, guys, be careful out there and stay safe. If you're making directional bets, if you keep them small, that might keep you available. All right, we'll keep pushing. Wish you guys the best of luck. That Tesla near the target broke my plan, and that cost you. Hey, discipline test today for sure. That's one thing for certain. See you guys tomorrow. Stay safe. Q's still in the chop. It seems like it, guys. And I'll tell you one thing. I don't want to just give up money for no reason. I'll see you guys back tomorrow morning, and don't miss out on those limited accounts.